Oh, well, hello there, lads. I hope we are all having a great day so far, and I hope we're all ready to get mad at some new things that Jagex has just recently released. And you know we had to do it to him, we had to talk about him. They must have Alzheimer's because they forgot that I'm him. Welcome back, everyone, to another Bald Mob special. We've got a new juicy news post we're going to talk about today. This was actually released yesterday, and once again I am falling behind, but that's because life, man. It's freaking, what is life? What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Except Jagex, we're gonna come at you, boys. So what did they talk about? What did they release? Well, if you're living under a rock, maybe you've heard of something called cocks. No, I'm not talking about the male part of the anatomy that most you know what, I'm not even gonna go any further with that comment. I'm talking about the Chambers of Xeric raid, the legendary first raid. Look at this guy, he's Captain Remor. We're going to talk about how they're making some very much requested, very well requested, I know, dude, I don't know the warning about Chambers of Xeric. People are going to think I've never done a raid before. That's ridiculous. I've definitely done raids before. Technically, Chambers of Xeric is a safe death for hardcore Iron Man, but that's not the point here. I've done raids before on my main account. You'll have to trust me. My big brother vouches for me, dude. He's right here. He says it. I've done plenty of raids. I really have. I've even done some on my hardcore Iron Man before, but I've never gotten any purples on TheBaldMob, my character right here. Look, I'll prove it to you. Look, he's my hardcore Iron Man, but I've never gotten a purple completion raid. I've never gotten anything sick on him. Yeah, so on my main account, I've gotten one Ancestral Hat, one Din's Bulwark, and one Sanguesti Staff. I'm just kidding. You thought I didn't know what raid gave what rewards. No, I'm just playing. Psych! Did I get you? I bet I got someone. They're like, oh, BaldMob, he's lying! He doesn't know! That comes from the Tombs of a Masket. No, I'm just kidding again, bro. That comes from Theater of Blood. Okay, let's get freaking serious now. So, two of the big things here, as you can see from the title, scouting and scaling have been a huge request for them to be changed overwhelmingly. So, here's the big deal, right? Unlike other raids, Chambers of Xeric is one where it's not like a fixed set of rooms. It's kind of different every time. They really tried to make the first raid not like a roguelike, but kind of. They tried to make it random so you didn't have to do the exact same thing every time. The raid instances are generated upon entry. So when you first walk through those little doors where you saw my innocent little BaldMob hardcore Iron Man standing, it's going to be different every time. So what kind of happened was, players, as they do, try to make the most efficient way of playing this game possible by finding the best routes available. So they did just that by what they call now scaling. Scouting. Of course, players, were like, well, this is garbage. I want to do the easy thing and just play the game to get the loot drop. Who cares about fighting Tecton and Vasa 5,000 times? It's too hard, bro. It's too hard. I got carpal tunnel syndrome from clicking the little mouse too many times. I want the puzzles, and I want the skeletal mystics. That's it. Vanguard, pass on that. So they tried to find, of course, as I say here, the system has downsides, and that downside being that players freaking hated it. So as they say in the second one here, more rooms are just more mechanically damaging or demanding, and they require better gear, or actually learning the content, which players don't want to learn anything ever. So then down here, they kind of talk about how they already have this scouting system in place, which sort of generates different layouts using what they like to call a rotation system. The Dream Blunt rotation. Here we go. You ready? Tecton, Mutadile, Guardian. That's the worst one because that's not even for who cares. We want Vanguard, Vespula, and Shaman. That's the Dream Blunt rotation because they're going to have Dragon Warhammers and they're going to give you Onyxes. Maybe, maybe not. I would smoke a blunt with that freaking Mutadile, dude. He'd probably eat your freaking brains, but anyway, I'm going off on an unmeaningful tangent here. So one room has to be followed by another one depending on the specific set of rules, and this is just from the wiki they pull. I like how they pull it from the wiki. Who knows if they've made it or not? Probably not. When does Jagex ever do work? It's always the wiki. Bless the people at the RS wiki, by the way. So they say that rewriting this system would be kind of hard, or not a simple task. However, it would kind of allow us to basically choose our own adventure, like a little Goosebumps storybook. You kind of choose your own path, your own destiny. Are you going to do all of the hard stuff because you want a challenge? No, of course not. You're going to do what's easy because you play old school RuneScape. So I guess basically what they're trying to say is while they want to make these changes easier for players, they also don't want to get rid of the one thing this raid has different from the other two, right? Theater of Blood and Teams of Mask, it always has kind of the same general idea, the same general layout. This one is unique in that it's different every time. You have to learn 5,000 different rounds. So they say that kind of allowing players to select their own will lead consistently fast raid completions. And then, of course, the economy is going to come into play when these uniques start to pop into the game much more frequently because people are completing the raid that much quicker. So they've been trying to consider all these points. Like I said, Jagex has been cooking. And here is what they like to say is their proposal. Oh, Jagex, you shouldn't have. You shouldn't have, or you asked me to marry you. So here's what they're proposing. You ready for these bullet points, baby? You can select the number of rooms in the raid, between 5 to 8. Determine the actual size. Sick. Players can select a specific layout. Sick. Players can select specific encounters to fill each room in the layout. Sick. These are inspectives of pre-existing rotations. So kind of going back up to the graphic, it's basically going to be what you see, what you get. You get to choose the rotation, the Dream Blunt rotation, but then you're going to kind of get to pick what you want and when you see it, is what it sounds like to me. Okay, so are you following me so far, camera guy? So you have normally, to scout these raids, you have a guy, you know, or woman hopping from world to world trying to choose, you know, okay, this world sucks, you got Tecton, you got Mutadial, it's garbage, skip it. You have another guy hop to the next world. Okay, this world, it's got a puzzle room, it's doable, but it's got Mutadial, it's got Tecton, it's got Vasa Vasa, it's garbage. I want the tightrope, I want to rock the little tightrope, I want to walk my little character, I don't want to do anything hard. You know me, I'm playing old school Runescape, I want the easy way out. So you hop again. That was kind of what scouting was, and people, I mean, they did it, bless their hearts, they did it because they wanted those freaking sweet, sweet purples. I didn't do it, I didn't have friends. I don't have friends to do these raids, but maybe you did. That's what separates you from me, and me from you. You have friends, you have purples, I have this phoenix behind me, and a girlfriend. Okay, so far, if you're caught up to speed with me now, you have purples, you have friends, I don't. Congratulations, brag about it. So here's where they're kind of getting to, they're losing me a little bit here. So now they have this predefined static layout, which is kind of what we're talking about, a more beginner-friendly layout. Hey, I can take that because I'm definitely a beginner. But here's where I got kind of lost in the weeds. They're also adding a competition layout, which is allowing speedrunners. Speedrunners. Do we remember quest speedrunning? Do we remember how well that went? Did you watch my video on that? Probably not, but I lost my freaking mind trying to go fast in these speedruns, and it just isn't quite the same. Now, here's where you're gonna have to, you want the fixed layout, you want to choose the raid at your own doing, congrats to you. So here's what you're gonna have to cost. Here's what's gonna cost you, rather. 500,000 gold pieces for a fully custom raid. $500,000. That seems kind of a lot, but again, I don't do these raids that often. I don't quite know how much you make from it, but they're going to explain that. So this is a reduced fee for the beginner-friendly raid if you're doing like a, you know, newbie raid. So it's going to be a little bit less. Now, additional cost for scaling, so the more players you have, the less it's going to be. So a second player would cost 99,000, a third cost 98,000. So it goes down by 1K for each additional person on your team. So, say you pick 5 rooms, you have your layout, and then from there, you can start to populate them with the combat or puzzle rooms you choose, as long as you can cough up, sorry, I hit my microphone, the 500,000 GP for the privilege. Why don't you check your privilege? Anyway, although this is a fully custom system, you're still going to have at least 5 rooms, like we said earlier. One has to be a puzzle room, and one has to be a combat room, of course. No duplicate rooms, so you can't have like 5 Tecton, you can't have 5 Skeletal Mystics. You have to have, you know, it has to be somewhat challenging. You can't just walk around, jerk your little ween, and then leave. Sorry, why was that my example? I don't know. We're talking about cocks here. Chambers of Zarek, right? So regardless of the layout you've chosen, the map's going to automatically be the same no matter what. Now, here's where they start to question already. They're already questioning their decisions. Why 500,000 GP? So they already say they're not married to this specific value. They just picked a freaking number out of a hat. Mod Ash took his little top hat off. They threw like, you know, 5,000 little number lines. Pick one. 500,000, 2 million. Who knows, dude? Where did we get these ideas? Where did this cocaine come from? Wait a minute. Anyway, so we have the maths. They say the maths to explain that figure just a little. According to the wiki, they're name dropping the wiki once again. So you apparently make about 100,000 GP-ish just from common drops alone. Not that I would know. Conservatively, the average number of points earned in these raids are around to 2.8 million from uniques. If you get uniques, bless your heart if you do. So at 500,000 GP per layout, even if you never see a unique item, we're looking at you, TheBaldMob, Hardcore Iron Man, 15 under my belt, no uniques to my name, sad game, scam game. Over 80% of your upfront cost from common drops alone. So there you go. So that's where they got their number from. Basically, you're going to be making your money back no matter what. If you're, well, I guess if you're lucky. Well, and as we know, I'm never lucky. At least like I said on this account. I've done probably a handful of, 20 to 30 raids across both of my accounts. So obviously, of course, you're not going to see one purple. Not yet, at least. It's easier when you have lots of friends to run through the raid fairly often, but I thought this was a good thing to talk about because it sounds like this is a very highly requested thing. I know scouting is kind of annoying, especially kind of what makes people put off from this raid, because every other raid you've got these set of circumstances that you know to prepare for. You know what's going to be next. You know what's going to be happening. You know, ooh, a young impling, don't mind if I do. Leather studded chaps? Aw, you shouldn't have. So that's just kind of what I think is it's a good plan. Now you have to pay for it. You got to pay money, but if you're doing these raids, you probably got the cash to spare. So the caveat to this is have friends. If you're really looking to maximize your profit, your goal should be to familiarize yourself with every room so you don't have to pay the custom layout fee at all. So screw you, buddy. Get good, Jagex says. Get better at the game. Learn the raid like it was meant to be, you freaking idiot, you freaking juggernaut. This is something we still want players to do. They want you to still play the raid, man. That's what they made it for. The whole point of this was to be like like I said earlier, a roguelite. They want you learning how to play the game they created, rather than only running meta layouts. And I've been saying that, dude. I've been screaming that. This is all about efficiency. This is all about getting through the raid as fast as thing possible, because we've done it a million times now. We want players to continue engaging with everything Cox has to offer. Well, if you want what everything Cox has to offer, you should have just asked. The raid is designed for replayability and variety, not playing it the same way every single time. It sounds like they don't want to release it like this. It sounds like they don't want to make these changes. But players, of course, have been fuming. They're foaming at the freaking mouth, dude. They say, we want Cox how we want Cox. Big, huge, easy. Right? Iron players still have to choose the full cost when even they're soloing, but they can use an alternate account. How RuneScape was made to play, right? Make a separate account, play 2 accounts at once. That's how the game was meant to be played, right? Or go to a friend group. Again, you gotta have friends. Of course, you can also keep hunting for that twisted bow the good old-fashioned way. So, in conclusion, moving from scouting, scaling should be as simple as ticking a box. You choose how many players you got. Easy, boy. 100,000, easy, boy. Like I said earlier, decreasing by 1,000 GP for every additional player. So that means I would be paying, class, 100,000 GP. Because I got no friends. The cost bid, they say it's trickier to balance, but you know what? Who cares? I don't got money. I don't got friends. You get the idea. So they've changed how the scouting will work. Now you can basically just choose it like Tombs of a Masket. I'm about it, boy. And, you know, there's the cost of having an alt account, which is again how RuneScape was meant to be played, right? By having 5 of your own separate accounts that you made, you paid the membership for, and have them do all the scouting for you. So that's gone. It's gone. And like they say down here, those are the plans. A long time coming. They don't want to do it. Clearly, it sounds like they're really biting their time. They're biting their tongue. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? Because I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy putting my opinions out there. People are going to yell at me no matter what. They're going to say I'm abusing performance-enhancing drugs. They're going to say that you don't talk that fast. You're just a crazy person. And maybe, Jacob, freaking maybe, but guess what, dude? You don't know. I'm just playing RuneScape. I'm just jazzed up on freaking hopping RuneScape berries. You know what I'm talking about? Alright, well, in all seriousness, guys and girls, I hope maybe, you know, at least listening to these ramblings of a madman, you're able to at least learn about this news post. Maybe you want to go check it out for yourself. It sounds like it's all going to be great stuff. I know most people don't watch to the end of the video where I actually get serious and talk about it, but I just kind of wanted to talk about the, you know, update they gave us yesterday, because I think it sounds like a good plan, and maybe it'll help me get back into raiding a little bit more, because we all know I need to get those purples, because I've been lacking, dude. Here, look, I'll show you my kill count real quick, just to kind of get it off my back so you can stop freaking out about it, and I can just show you that I've been doing raids and it just haven't been popping off as much on my hardcore. On my main account, sure, dude, got like 20, easy, but this might get me back in the saddle, who knows? So what do you think about these changes? Surely, if you're a big raid expert, if you're a big Cox fan, these are probably something you've been looking forward to for a long time. So I can't wait to hear what you have to say in the comments. I want to thank everybody for all the support on the last video I did about forestry. It was kind of highly debated again. Lots of likes, lots of dislikes. So I'm going to keep trying to be as honest as possible and biased as possible. Thank you so much for all the support. I really do want to say thank you because we passed 500 subscribers. We smashed it, and I didn't even have that goal. So thank you once again, everyone. And yeah, let's check out that raid KC, and I'll see how unlucky I've been. Here we go. So Chambers is it. Why does it say? Oh.